Eastwood reveals the real values of the American society. We all know most celebrities choose a side in U.S. politics. Hollywood legend actor and director Clint Eastwood is no exception. He, and the majority of Americans, as the presidential results show, are sick and tired of all this political correctness, endorsing Donald Trump and saying this is a kiss-ass generation with no guts, with people all over accusing other people of being racist. He reminisces on the time he was growing up, saying that stuff like these nowadays did not exist. Clint Eastwood points that even his associate said that the script for his film Gran Torino was so good but it was not politically correct. Clint returned the other morning angry, saying "We're starting this immediately." Eastwood endorses Trump because he speaks what's on his mind, and that's what makes a politician honest and gives him the trust of the people. He is not unknown to politics, as he is known to support conservative ideology and also has his own views of how America should look like. He says, "I say get to work and start being more understanding of everybody, instead of calling everybody names, start being more understanding. But get in there and get it done. Kick ass and take names. Don't spend what you don't have. That is why we're in the position we are now. That's why people say why should I work when I can get something for nothing, maybe." Eastwood political views totally differ by the majority of his colleagues in Hollywood that mostly contains progressive liberals. Thank God we have him. Share if you support the Hollywood icon. Liberals refuse to show up for the committee vote. What the Republicans just did left them speechless. Lately, we were seeing liberals making jokes on Trump and his cabinet picks for no particular reason. Or maybe there is one. They are simply horrified by the fact that they have zero power, so what is the best option for them? Of course, make fun of the winners. Just dumb. On top of that, Trump is literally struggling to get cabinet members to sign. Unlike Obama in 2009, to whom this job was a piece of cake. And now, just like little kids, liberals didn't show up to do their job and vote for 2 potential cabinet members to proceed. Of course, we don't need them. So, the Republicans decided to proceed with the voting without them. Yeah, who needs them, really? Business Insider reported. Republicans on the Senate Finance Committee on Wednesday approved President Donald Trump's nominees for Secretary of the Treasury and Secretary of Health and Human Services without any votes from Democrats. Republicans used a parliamentary tactic to change the rules of the committee, allowed them to pass the nominations on to the full Senate without Democrats in attendance. Republicans on the Senate Finance Committee on Wednesday approved President Donald Trump's nominees for Secretary of the Treasury and Secretary of Health and Human Services without any votes from Democrats. Republicans used a parliamentary tactic to change the rules of the committee, allowed them to pass the nominations on to the full Senate without Democrats in attendance. When they saw this, liberal media CNN just rushed into calling this action an extraordinary. It is completely hilarious how this stupid media is willing to do everything to back up liberals and their childish ways of thinking. The Los Angeles Times reported. Republicans on the Senate Finance Committee voted Wednesday to recommend the nominations of Tom Price as Health and Human Services Secretary and Steve Mnuchin as Treasury Secretary to the full Senate after changing rules to stymie a boycott by Democrats, according to the Associated Press. The move came after Democrats prevented confirmation votes for both men Tuesday, charging that Price and Mnuchin misled the committee. That move infuriated Senate Finance Committee Chairman Orrin Hatch, Republican Utah, who called the tactic pathetic and Democrats idiots. Committee rules require at least one member from each party to be present for a meeting. But the committee's Republicans changed the rules Wednesday to allow for confirmation votes, Hatch said. "We took some unprecedented actions today due to the unprecedented obstruction on the part of our colleagues," Hatch said. "I'm loving it. Look, Democrats, politics is some really serious place to be fooling around. It is a vital part of our country, and if you are willing to play games rather than to work, better expect results like this. Extraordinary. What do you think of this matter? Tell us in the comment section below. Stay well, folks. Melania did something incredible on the inauguration day. Now we know what was all about. Several days passed since Trump's inauguration, and still, those who watched it were left speechless by the beautiful and glamorous Melania Trump. She made a little reminder how it feels to finally have a proper First Lady. As for her first major act as a First Lady, Melania Trump disappeared from her husband's inauguration and went straight back to New York to be with her son Barron, who is still attending school. However, this action was taken by the mainstream liberal media, twisted and served cold to the dumb liberals to make some noise. Let me break this one for you. There is absolutely nothing mystical about Melania's disappearance, as she is just a regular mother who loves her child far more than the new powerful position. Still, mainstream media hates it. I don't know why, but they simply hate. Liberal political scientist Laura Wright shared her complaints about this matter. There's a public expectation for communication, and she's not providing it. It's interesting that there doesn't seem to be a willingness to shape her public image, despite the public interest, said Mike Rigdon, a liberal teacher at Rider University. He said that he is worried that Melania would lose some rating with this motherly move. She could be giving the administration a little bit of a softer touch because we do make certain decisions about a president based on his family, Rigdon added. Michael D'Antonio stated that we all should expect a whole different First Lady from the many before. She will be a special First Lady. I expect her to be gracious when acting as the First Lady, but I would not be surprised if she limits herself to a minimal engagement with the role, he concluded. Let's make one thing straight. Melania Trump will be the best First Lady because she puts family first, and America is one big family. Watch Ashton Kutcher trying to gain political points on Screen Actors Guild Awards by attacking Trump. Hollywood actor Ashton Kutcher has been a massive setback for the liberal community as he decided to disappoint every American fan with an awful statement about Trump. By far, he was a decent fellow, living a quiet family life. However, as any other liberal pawn, he had to follow orders from above, so he joined the bunch of corrupted Hollywood celebs that are constantly mocking our president. This is a huge mistake, Ashton. Anyway, the Screen Actors Guild Awards, which has happened last night, was seen by Ashton as his moment to please his leaders and attack President Trump. But, what he didn't expect was the massive civilian outrage. Americans all over the world slammed him hard almost immediately after his pathetic speech. Everyone at airports who belong in my America, you are a part of the fabric of who we are. We welcome you, said Kutcher. He is clearly referring to the new executive order that Trump gave on Friday, in which several countries have banned access to the U.S. He then decided that it is a good idea to take the battle to Twitter, where he was practically humiliated. They do. I wish they would make us laugh, make us cry, but stay out of politics. Ashton Kutcher really pissed me off last night. T.co web link. Doug, at KramerCat, January 30, 2017. His monologue, however, encouraged other independent celebs to start bragging about Trump like it is a walk in the park. Kutcher clearly has no idea that his last night's monologue was the beginning of the end for him. Anyway, from where I stand, last night was seen as just another opportunity for Ashton Kutcher to gain some popularity by using the tough political situation. I bet he lured some liberal fans to like his Facebook page. Well done, Ashton. You are a disgrace to America. Breaking. The Supreme Court Justice was chosen by Donald Trump. This is excellent. We have been waiting for months, but the waiting has paid off. President Donald Trump made one of the biggest steps of his presidency for now. Antonin Scalia was replaced as Supreme Court Justice of the United States, by no other than Neil Gorsuch. All Americans can agree that Gorsuch is maybe the best pick for this position for various reasons, being on the top of his graduating class at Harvard Law School and all that. He suits perfectly. Some of the many great things about him are: he supports religious freedoms. Does not believe that the court should make the laws. He is a strong proponent of states' rights and interstate commerce. He is a social conservative. He was the only judge to be elected unanimously by Congress when George W. Bush nominated him for the United States Court of Appeals. President Trump's surprises us pleasant again and again in such a short time of his presidency. He chose the most qualified and dedicated man there can be. Now the senators need to be reasonable and vote positively for the sake of our country. Share this wonderful news.